Now, as we continue to kind of journey through the syllabus, a couple other things that you'll find in the syllabus that will be very helpful for you is on page 6. I have given you a series of probably 20 different online resources, links that you could use that would be helpful, really helpful for your writing assignments. So I want to encourage you, rather than just going to Wikipedia, which at times is a really kind of shady source, to look at these online sources that I have given you. The other thing is, it talks about electronic devices. If you want to use laptops, cell phones, you can use any of that in my class. The only thing you can't use are headphones. So if you do have headphones in class, I'll ask you to remove those. Also, I take very serious what's known as academic integrity, plagiarism. If you have any questions about what the word plagiarism means or what it actually is, I want to refer you to our librarians in the library. We have some amazing librarians, and they do such a great job. Plagiarism is using somebody else's work and claiming it's yours. First time you plagiarize, you'll receive a 0. The second time you plagiarize, you'll be asked to withdraw from the class or receive an F. Plagiarism is a big deal. Also, with academic integrity comes attendance. I know today they'll be calling out your name, and then on Friday, when you do your assignments, we'll also be calling out your name. But or when you do it online, today, when we call out your name. But that'll be the only time we do it that way. The rest of the time, I'll have a piece of paper with your name on it, and I'll ask you simply to sign your name beside it, so we can save valuable class time, not doing 50 people's names. Now, if you're caught signing somebody else in, or being signed in, you both will be asked to withdraw from the class. That's happened in times in the past, so for me, it's a lot better for you to be an honest person and maybe get a C in New Testament than it is to be dishonest and get an A. That A means nothing if you're not a person full of integrity. So others, we've also put the ADA policy in there, which you're probably already aware of. It matches all the other courses. Also, there is an opportunity to earn 50 extra credit points, what's called an article summary. I've given you information about that. But let's talk about the last thing, probably really important. It's called the Compassion Project. This is different than some other classes because for our course, there is a time known as a final where you have to be present. Okay, our final, I think I've listed already on the syllabus, our final is May 7th, which is the Thursday, at 1:30. Yes, you have to be present for that. Do not plan vacation beforehand. But what that's going to look like is, rather than having some kind of comprehensive final, all your work will be done. Because throughout the semester, I'm asking you to engage in a compassion project where you volunteer 6 hours of your time. Now, that could be 1 hour a week for 6 weeks, or 2 blocks of 3, or 1 full day of 6 hours. But for your compassion project, here's what I want you to do. You have to, step number 1, you have to find a place where you're going to volunteer. Now, has to be volunteer. It can't be you raking your grandma's grass and you only charge her $15 when you normally would cut her grass and charge her $50. That's kind of shady for one, but also that's not compassionate. It's volunteer work, so it has to be volunteer work. And once you find an organization, you have to email me to receive my permission to do the work. There are some places that work well, other places that do not, and so I need to have that in written permission. Okay, that means by email that you have to ask permission to do that project. And once you complete your hours while you're doing the work, while you're volunteering, I want you to take pictures, unless you're doing something that the organization doesn't allow you to take pictures. You'll need to talk to me about that. After you finish your work, you will then have the organization. For example, let's say you volunteer at Signature Nursing Home and you help set up for a party, or you do some kind of activity there with the residents. Afterwards, you'll have their activity director or their executive director or somebody from the organization from their email account, not, bigdog14@gmail.com. That doesn't look very official. I want an official email from that organization or a handwritten note on their letterhead saying that you volunteered. So find a place, step one. Now, you may have a hard time finding a place if you've never volunteered before or you don't live here in the county. Well, I have given you on Joule, right under your syllabus, there's something called the Pike County Directory. It's a list of all kinds of organizations where you can volunteer. So that's really important. Just click on that. It's a PDF file. So step number one, find a place to volunteer. Step number two, email me to get permission. Step three, do your volunteering work. Step four, take pictures while you're volunteering. Step number five, this is the critical piece, you'll be writing a 4-page reflection paper dealing with all kinds of questions that I have put up here on the syllabus. And what you're trying to answer is, how does the New Testament discuss compassion, and how is that compassion made known in the way that you volunteered? Now, that paper, pictures and paper, are due the last day of class. So for us, the last day of class is on May 4th. So you'll have that submitted by Joule, not in your journal, but that's typed paper, and you'll submit that to me on Joule by May 4th. Now, you will present that on May 7th. What I mean by presenting is that we'll sit around in a group and I'll ask you a series of 5 or 6 questions, and you will simply discuss that. You don't have to come up with a PowerPoint. It's not a public speaking class. My goal is, by the time May 4th comes and you submit your compassion project, your work is done. Then you can finish, freaking out about physics or organic chemistry or nursing or whatever it is that you're taking. But you just simply show up on that final day and we will talk about your project. So, that's your compassion project. I know that's way down the road. May is a long time from here. Last couple things about your syllabus. You'll find out on page 10 is a real rough, kind of simple base outline of time period around the New Testament. That may be helpful to kind of orient you. In this class, when we talk about dates and time, we will use BCE or CE. CE stands for the Common Era. BCE is before the Common Era. Because there are a variety of religious movements and peoples that study religion now, we don't use AD and the other one, oh my goodness. We don't use BC and AD after dates anymore. We use CE. So the last thing that I need you to do is on page 11, it's going to say class agreement. And on this class agreement, I'm going to have you print your name at the top, and then you're going to sign it for me. You're going to sign your name and date it, and you're going to turn this in today. Once you pass in your note card or piece of paper that has your name and major and hometown and something you want to gain from this class and maybe a question, also you need to turn in this agreement. Because if you don't sign this agreement, you can't proceed in the class. So if I don't have this from you by the next time we gather into class, I'll ask you to withdraw, because this is our contract together. Your syllabus is a critical document for our agreement, so that you know what the grades will be based on, so I don't throw any extra work on you, and also that you can't protest and say, but I didn't know, you hadn't told me. So this is our course, and I can't wait to meet you again, and I look forward to seeing you the next time we're in class.